Well, you just couldn't call, could you, Magus? You just couldn't help out a few thousand or million people who are going to go hungry and are going to live in the fucking streets. Thanks, MAGA. Thanks a whole hell of a lot. Because most of the goddamn people live in your fucking states.
Did y'all hear how Trump's big bullshit bill passed? 4 House Republicans changed their votes to yes after Trump gave them signed MAGA hats and selfies. One posted a video gushing about the 2-hour experience he had with the president. He said he signed a bunch of stuff and it was cool. And what did they vote for? A budget that rips healthcare from 17 million Americans, that slashes food assistance, shuts down rural hospitals, kills millions of jobs.
Jesus Christ, they passed it. Oh my God, somebody, they passed it. All I know is, all of y'all that voted for that syphilitic motherfucker, when you feel the pain and it really starts to impact your life, keep it to yourself. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. Because what the entire hell? Y'all ain't about to have no SNAP. Y'all ain't about to have no Medicaid. Grocery prices still sky high. We about to have inflation, a recession, depression, oppression. Remember this. You did this to us. Because all you wanted was to see black and brown people deported and fed to alligators, apparently. I'm just here to say, fuck y'all. Goodbye.
So the big bullshit bill just passed a few hours ago, and as somebody who's voted Democrat the last several elections, I want to say something to the Democrat leadership and to the other people who voted for this bill. Last night they were way short on votes. They come in today, Hakeem Jeffries gives an 8-hour speech, the longest speech in history on the House floor to try to filibuster this, and it did absolutely nothing. And he stopped short to give the Republicans time enough to vote on this bill. And all those people, the 10-something people who were holdouts last night, they came in and they voted for it today. And why do I think they did it? It's a 3-day weekend. They wanted to make sure that they got to take their 3-day holiday weekend and it wouldn't be delayed. So they're screwing the whole country over to make sure they can go on their holiday. Meanwhile, millions of people are going to lose their health insurance. Millions of people are not going to be able to feed their kids because their SNAP benefits are cut. So, as somebody who has voted Democrat and likes the Democrat agenda, we need to stop doing this worthless bullshit that doesn't make a difference in anything and do something to actually help the people.
Get your lazy ass up and take your ass to work. The big beautiful builders in the building, y'all. All y'all out here crying, talking about they gonna take your benefits. Not if you take your ass to work. All these big blocks over here talking about their food stamps. Baby, you can miss a meal, but it's time to take your ass to work. 17 million gonna lose Medicaid? Not if you a citizen. And if you work 20 hours, get your lazy ass up. Cause we tired. When I hear Democrats talk about they represent the working class, it's an oxymoron to me. They represent the lazy class. Baby, ain't no more flexing. The welfare queens are losing their mind. They don't know what to do. And don't worry about finding a job, cause ICE got a raid. They ain't playing with you, they about to be out these streets. So it's gonna be some jobs. It's crazy you complain about them taking benefits from you, but you add nothing to the system. All you do is take. It kills me the audacity of some of these people. I deserve health care. I'm a single mother with 6 kids and the government's supposed to take care of me. I ain't supposed to take care of you. Ain't nobody tell you to lay down and give up the box for free to some no good who couldn't take care of you. And it's crazy because there's this big block on TikTok and she talked about her and her husband are on Medicaid. How both of her kids only survive off of SSI, his SSI. And she touts about her birth control. yet she just gave birth to another baby, and her other 2 kids have autism. Maybe that should tell you, if that's the issue, you shouldn't be having kids. Seems like a genetic thing with that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, no, you're not entitled. No, we're not supposed to take care of you. And yes, you need to cut down on the calories and take your big block ass to work. And it's crazy, everything's doom and gloom. I mean, again, y'all haven't learned why Dollar Tree Obama's talking about we need to press on and wasting everybody's time with that hours-long speech. You need to come up with an agenda, because your only agenda is about illegals and lazy people. It's an 80-20 issue. It don't work. So again, shout out to President Trump. I mean, you got to get a man credit. Like him or love him. After 4 years of Joe Biden administration, where we didn't see a damn thing move.
They're so pissed about this big, beautiful bill because they got to get up and move their ass off the couch. They've been living off the government for the last God knows how many years, and now they're going to have to get a job. So, I mean, if you've been sitting on your ass for 10 years, not having to work, and all of a sudden, oh, I got to go to work now and make the same amount or less than what I was making sitting at the house, who wouldn't be pissed?
Do you want to know why people are mad about the big, beautiful bill? Democrats? Why they are making up these lies about Medicaid, Section 8, SNAP, and clarification. They are removing immigrants off Medicaid. Why should you get full assistance if you're able to get up and go to work? Hell, I work from home. I don't even have to leave my house. You know, they have work from home jobs now, right? So the video, I'm going to show a clip of it. It's disturbing.
Big beautiful bill, Medicaid cuts. I'm for it because I'm an able-bodied American citizen right now. I'm headed to work. I work at least 40 hours a week. People need to stop just getting free benefits. If you can go to work, you need to go to work because we're tired of paying for everybody. So Medicaid cuts, we're here for it.
It's my mother-in-law. She worked 40 hours a week too at the same company for 32 years, and she was union, and then she got brain tumors and she lost her health insurance because if you're not working, you're gonna lose your health insurance, and then Medicaid and Medicare kick in. Every single person is one tragedy away from having to be on Medicaid and Medicare. You're one brain tumor, one car accident, and for you specifically, looking at you, I can tell you're one heart attack away from needing Medicaid and Medicare. Now, I know that you think everybody that's on them is lazy illegals, but guess what? One day, you're gonna need it and you're not gonna have it. And it's not you that's paying everything. It's people like me, the younger generation, that are paying for that, for you, for her. Now, thank God that she has successful children that can subsidize her way of life, because Medicare and Medicaid, it don't cover it all. You're going to be in poverty forever, and you're going to lose your house, you're going to lose your home, you're going to lose everything that you ever worked for, and you're going to have to move in with your kids. So I hope that you have fucking rich kids, because you just made that little tiny entitlement that you're going to need fucking smaller. I would like people like you to think of the future. You're gonna need it. For you, it's probably gonna be a couple years, all right? Because I could tell you've probably been eating butter and fried chicken for the last 20 years.
Hold on, what did you just say about Trump?
I said, Trump's a fucking liar. Inflation's going up. Gas prices hasn't really come down that much. Eggs, that's the funny one. The eggs. I'm mad, and I'm a mega man, okay? I don't see anything he's done.
So is it safe to say that the illusion has faded?
I think it has, yes. You know, I was for him because, you know, everything he said, you know, he played right into my hands. He just told us everything we wanted to hear. That's what he did. I can't even stand to look at him because, you know, he's just he's a con. He's a flat ass, nothing but a fucking con. You know, they all the right side, they say, oh yeah, the Biden side was so bad. Well, what's so good about the right side? He brags about doing something with our economy, but I haven't seen anything happen yet. That big beautiful bill is going to add, they say $2.5 trillion. It's going to add about $4 trillion to the debt. The big beautiful bill. Oh, what a joke. Remember what happened in the 80s? with trickle-down economics. Yeah, the filthy rich got richer, and us guys that worked for a living paid more taxes. I'm disappointed for sure. I'm real disappointed.
So, I've never like identified myself with one party or the other. I've always liked to stay right in the middle of things, like the middle way in Buddhism. I guess I've considered myself like an independent for a very long time. Let me just cut straight to the chase here. I want to issue like a public apology right now and get this sin off of my conscience. The fact that I voted for Donald Trump. I did. Because I'll explain a little bit for a couple minutes because I only got 10 minutes. The reason why I like staying in the middle of things is because anyone with half a working brain knows that after Biden took office, this country went to shit very fast. And if you observed that man, he was, I'm just going to say, I don't want to be mean, he was old. He was obviously in cognitive decline, and he had other people, a lot of other people running shit for him. He was like an actor that was just standing in for, people who were pulling strings behind him. And if you've been down the rabbit hole as much as I've been over the years, the president, for the most part, really is just that. He's an actor, and the people who are really running the world, and people like to say, oh, it's the Rothschilds, or oh, it's the Rockefellers, or you're never going to know their names. You're never going to know their identities. They're completely in the shadows. But to keep this video simple, it was a shit show while Biden was in office, and his vice president, who was running for office against Donald, was just, she had the IQ of a peanut. And to keep it nice and simple, I thought Donald was like the lesser of two evils. I've only voted twice in my entire life. For the most part, I stay out of politics because I know, like I said, the real guys who are running shit, it goes so much higher, so much deeper. I know voting for the most part doesn't do shit, but again, this is a simple, grounded video. I'm not getting into anything crazy in this video. I don't know. I've had many different opinions back and forth about Donald over the years, whether he's a part of, if you want to call it, the Illuminati or not. I think I think at this point he's probably loosely affiliated, and he has his own role that he plays. Like I think sometimes he supports them, sometimes he fights them. He's got enough money to pretty much do what he wants. And he, I think one of the roles he plays is giving Americans the illusion that there's still hope, that there's still a fight to be had to make America great again, but there was a place in my heart that really thought that once he took office again, that he was going to do the right thing for everybody, and I swear, since this man took office, he's done nothing but kick poor people in the balls, and I really wanted to vote for Kennedy. That's who I really wanted, but he wound up dropping out of the race. And even Kennedy telling people, "Oh, you can't buy energy drinks with your food stamps." I'm on disability, to put that out there. I'm on disability, and I get disability, and I get EBT, and I get Medicaid, and okay, I get a phone. And that's it. And before you get, all bent out of shape about, some of the things that I get, I don't get a fraction of what it takes to survive in this country. And I don't mean like have fun and be happy. I'm talking about surviving, I get like $2.70 in food stamps. And there are a lot of people in this country, probably half the country, will spend that in 1 week. You know, my budget's like $70 a week in groceries. I basically buy 4 items with that at the grocery store. Yeah. But now there's all this controversy going on. I'm seeing my For You page is flooded with people talking about this big, beautiful bill right now, and apparently they're going after, half of what I get in benefits, Medicaid and EBT. And yeah, I'm very sorry. If I could go back in time right now, I just would not have voted because I wouldn't have contributed to this. Because I don't really think either candidate was fit for the job. Honestly, it's one of the things I'm starting to hate most about that MAGA party. It's like they all still have this like boomer mentality where your life should revolve around work. Like we should all be working 100 hours a week. Anyone who posts about their food stamps getting cut, you look into the comments section of their video, and it's nothing but MAGA supporters telling them to get a job, right? And there's millions of people, probably a whole new generation nowadays, that are starting to wake up out of the capitalist illusion. And they're realizing that life is more than being at the office. That God created us to do more with our life, that there's so much more to existing than just working a job and paying bills until you grab your chest from a heart attack and die. And that's like the MAGA party in a nutshell, the conservatives. It's work, pray to Jesus, and yeah, that's like 85% of the conservative party. Work and Jesus. Yeah, I think it's absolutely disgusting that, there are millions of people that have what they're going after right now, like Medicaid and food stamps. Millions of people that have it for 1,000 different fucking reasons. Are there people that are abusing the system? Yes. That will always go on, but let's face it. And people will like say things like, they talk about what their taxes are going toward. And the conservatives don't care about hundreds of millions of dollars of their tax money funding wars that just should not be going on. They'll go to church on Sunday and, they'll sing along with the gospel music, you know what I mean? While their hard-earned taxes are going to bomb poor, starving brown people in the Middle East. And they'll talk about Jesus, who preached nothing but love your neighbor, love God, and love yourself. It's like the whole party is like one giant hypocrisy. Anyway, so to round up this video, yeah, I'd like to publicly admit that I voted for him, to publicly apologize, to say to God publicly that I'm sorry, that I should have kept my hat out of the race, and I shouldn't have voted to support this at all. So that's my sin, and I hope this video clears that sin off of my soul. You know what I mean? And I'm never going to vote again. I'm never supporting anything that has to do with this government ever again. You know what I mean? I think we're overdue for a revolution. Everything needs to be completely revamped. I think everybody in Washington should be arrested.
The big beautiful bill has finally passed. And as Americans, we want to know, where do we go from here? And from the looks of it, it's a lot of Americans that's furious about this bill because they don't know where to go. And they feel like they have nowhere to turn. So in reality, this bill is going to affect everyone. And I'm sad. You may be sad too. And I see that a lot of Americans are furious about this bill. But then you got other Americans that feel like this bill doesn't affect them. Because I'm going to show you both videos. I'm going to show you a lot of videos where Americans are furious and they're living with regrets, all types of situations, because they feel like this bill is not going to benefit them. Then on another note, I'm going to show you videos of Americans that feel like these people are just complaining and they need to just work anyway. So they feel like they got to just get a job and just work, and it's just simple. They don't want Americans to get free nothing. They feel like Americans are just getting too entitled. So in reality, I want to know what side y'all on. Pick a side and leave it in the comments. Do y'all feel like people are in the right because they don't want their situations or their benefits or anything taken away? Or you think that the Americans are in the right saying that they think people should go work 80 hours just to keep their benefits on? But what I keep trying to tell people is that let's keep it real. This is my opinion. And I want y'all to have y'all opinions too in the comments. This is my opinions. So you got people saying, just go find a job and work. Think about this. For the people who says that and who been working for 10 years or never had no layoff and never had to experience none of this type of situation. Y'all don't know nothing about that layoff life, that getting fired life. So in reality, y'all stuck on one job until the job lay y'all off. But let me put my thoughts into this. Now, you might apply for 1,000. No exaggeration. How many of those job applications called you back? Wait. Let me put this in perspective. Let me say this. You may have been working good hours at your job. You may have been working overtime, but your job decides to cut your overtime. What can you do? So how can you regulate when you're going to work overtime or when you're going to get a job or not when it's up to them to call you? Or give you the overtime because you basing your life around a job. And a lot of Americans, they base their life around a job. So if they can't get a job, what can they do? Are you on the side of the Americans who are very furious that this big bill passed? Or are you on the side of the Americans who feel like they should go out there and get a job anyway? They tired of paying for Americans to just sit around and do nothing. That's how they feel. Let me know what side you're on. Leave it in the comments. I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.